The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Welcome to Sin City Bounty.com.
We're
We're broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada, from our fabulous WWDBTV studio. Hopefully there's a picture of Las Vegas behind us this time.
Or 70s porn.
Or 70s porn. For those of you who are watching the fancy video, which is what this is, we also broadcast live on our Facebook page, Sin City Bounty, and you'll be able to watch that video. We have a whole practically 20 minutes of talking about porn on that video, so you may want to go check that one out on our Facebook page as well. Like it, give us kudos, leave messages.
My eyes just got so huge, like a puppy. I'm like, there's red vines over there.
Johnny Fever brought us treats.
Thank
Treats!
You. Look, I'll split it 50-50.
Oh, isn't there 4 there? Oh.
There may have been. I might have eaten
just
it
toss
already.
it, Johnny.
Jasper won't be in until the 20th, which means he's going to the other bash.
Right. The Summer Fun Bash
Summer
by
Fun
Xlence
Bash,
BBW.
Yes.
So, we were not here last week. We don't have a video for last week because it was the 4th of July. We're very patriotic around here, even though we don't really like who the president is. We're still proud to be fucking Americans.
Well, literally.
Although it has been a while.
That took what? How long has the show been on? 20 seconds?
What's the issue? What's your issue?
Oh, you said we like fucking Americans, and I said literally.
Got it.
I got
Although
it.
I'm not limited to.
I am not limited to Americans either. Yes, that's right.
No Russians, though.
Why not? As long as they're not a governmental
you're right.
lawyer.
Fuck those guys.
They have their accent is harsh.
I've
Same
been
with
watching.
Germans.
Yeah, I've been watching The Bachelorette. I think the Russian got kicked off. I can't. I was only half paying attention this morning, but he was hot. I would have fucked him.
I think he was hacking everybody's emails.
I want someone to hack my emails.
What'd you do for 4th of July?
Well, you'll cry. I went to see fireworks.
You went to a venue to go watch fireworks.
I went to a random field to watch fireworks. And it was amazing. It was a great spot. I have a normal place that I love to go, which they've kind of built up construction-wise, so it's a little harder to get to. So it was a new place, and we found it kind of on accident, and it's perfect. Like, I had a view of the entire city. It was gorgeous. It ended up being a really great night.
For me, part of the thrill of great fireworks is being close enough where you can feel the reverberation of the boom through your body.
I do like that, but the field that I was at, they were setting off illegal fireworks. So I could feel the boom, and actually there were many instances where I sat there and I said, I hope that doesn't blow me up. Like, it's coming really close. And at one point, there's a lady, like, lighting stuff off, holding her baby, like, hanging over her arm. And I'm like, God, they're really close. Like, can I run up, grab the baby, and run back? Like, what can I do now? But it worked out nice because my child actually had some fireworks that were not of legal ease here.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Right? Here's the deal with fireworks. You are allowed in the city, in city limits, to only use fireworks from the stands. They're called safe and sane fireworks. But in Nevada and other areas, they sell other fireworks, which are perfectly legal where they're at for sale, but you're not supposed to bring them into the city. And actually, a soccer parent gave her a couple. Not that many, but they gave her a couple. And I was too paranoid to light them off. And I'm like, we are not lighting them off in my house. I'm not getting arrested. You know I know what to do now, thanks to Orange is the New Black, but I'm just not prepared for prison right now. Like, I was wearing a dress. I'm like, I don't think I'm wearing panties. I'm not ready to go to jail. Like, it's not a good time for me. So I was too paranoid. And then my child, every, like, empty lot we drove past, she's like, let's do it there. And I'm like, no, because we have to light one, hop in the car, and drive away fast. So ultimately, my mom's fiance came with us and helped her, safely light off the few that she had, and no one got arrested. But I was totally prepared to throw him under the bus. Like, they're not ours. They're not. That man right there, the one with the lighter in his hand, they're not ours.
I was on fire watch because I live in a neighborhood that would go up very, very quickly.
Oh, right.
If fireworks. I remember coming home to my mother's house after a 4th of July, and her backyard tree was on fire. So I am very paranoid about fire. In fact, I believe Vegas had more than 400 calls for fires on July 4th from people not using safe and sane fireworks.
Right.
Of course, the access for illegal fireworks is super easy around here. I mean, it's less than an hour's drive in either direction,
right,
to find a place that, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but most of you Vegas people know. So
I wouldn't know. I mean, I wouldn't go there and purchase it. I'm too paranoid.
I've been to a store right before a 4th of July and seen the stock in. It's like a little strip mall store almost, but you walk in and it's packed to the ceiling with how much they have for sale. It's crazy.
I couldn't do it. I'd be afraid I'm going to walk out and get arrested. Like, this is it. Of all things that I can get arrested for, fireworks. Like, I'll be in prison and they're like, what are you here for? I murdered someone. I, embezzled money. And I'm like, illegal fireworks. It won't work for me.
Right.
So, like, if I'm going, it's not for this. So, but it was fun to watch. And I actually had a little bit of, and we're going to talk about the marijuana sales going live here in Las Vegas. But it kind of ties into my 4th of July as well.
Why, you ran out of weed?
No. I was attending a party. I was set to attend a party that, we had been invited to, and I asked up front, can I bring my child? Right, if somebody invites, I ask right from the get-go, and if I can, great. If I can't, no big deal. I either don't go or I make alternate arrangements for her. So never a big deal, but right beforehand, they told me, by the way, we're, going to have marijuana here. And I had a little bit of a debate because it's perfectly legal here in Las Vegas. And I've had discussions, so my child, my teenager, is aware that it's perfectly legal. I just wasn't sure I was ready to expose her in an environment. But just like and I kept thinking it through. I'm like, what would I do? Would I take her somewhere if I knew we were drinking heavy? And I wouldn't. I just don't. And if I have my child, I don't drink, period. So I'm like, okay, so I wouldn't do that, and that's legal. And I probably wouldn't bring her in a room if everyone was smoking cigarettes, even though it's perfectly legal. So yeah, I think this one might be, might be okay for us to kind of step away from, just because I wasn't quite ready for that, to kind of put her in that area.
Right.
So
that's called good parenting, by the way.
But I really did have a debate, though. I wasn't sure. I'm like, it's something that's legal. So, but do you do it?
So
mine was a no.
How many people do you know, really know, that smoke weed?
A great amount, including people that my daughter would have no idea.
So,
and I've discussed that with her.
You take those people.
Right.
And on the other hand, you take people who drink.
Right.
Most people who smoke weed may take 2 or 3 or 4 hits, and that's it. They're good. People that drink, they drink until they can't drink
I've
anymore.
heard.
So, I mean, if I was going to expose, no, I'm serious, right? You go to a bar and it's like you just.
I had a vision of Toxie drunk in my head.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, well. So I'm saying that this, over the years, we have developed this preconceived notion about dopers and you know, stoners, that the
Right.
movies have, dude, yeah, what's it, you know, and that ain't the way it is for most
Right.
people.
I realize. I mean, I think it's not a big secret. I've talked about the fact that I have like a pot smoking hippie mom.
Well,
but my
if you-
mom
if-
doesn't do it
Right.
with her there.
All right, compare
So-
them to someone who has an occasional glass of wine.
Right. But I also don't take her places where they're drinking. So, I mean,
Yeah,
with
no,
the
no, no,
exception,
no, no,
like-
but I understand that.
Right.
So, and
I get it.
and I commend
get it.
you for that.
It's
so.
much more mellow, and it really was kind of a debate, you know, that I had for that reason, because it's perfectly legal, it's natural. We've had discussions on it because I feel at some point she's smart enough to figure out that, you know, everyone around her smokes. So I wasn't ready yet. I mean, we're talking, it was 3 days after it became legalized. And
She's how old again?
She's 13. She's
Yeah,
entering high
that's-
school.
yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's
So-
perfectly fine.
Yeah. So it wasn't time yet. So. But Jasper said a drunk Toxie is a fun Toxie. I might have heard that once or twice. But to tie into the marijuana really quick, so as we said, marijuana sales have become legal as of the 1st of July, and the governor has already declared a state of emergency because our supply is running low. And so basically, is your mic on? And you can kind of jump in and help.
Yes, my mic is on.
Thank you. Did you turn them on?
I love you, Mike.
What came up on the video?
It just says my storage is getting full. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically what it is, there's a legal pot shortage. Stores sell it. I don't know if you saw the news anywhere, but the lines were insane. It was crazy, but all the reports were that people were very like chill.
Mm-hmm.
They were cool waiting in line.
Isn't that the stereotype for pot smokers?
Right,
Everybody's
right.
usually
So
chill.
So it was all good. It was a good experience. But there's something that has to do with a business that sells marijuana. If they produce it, they could produce it on the wall in their building next to the wall, but they have to have somebody who's licensed to transport it.
Distribute.
Distribute
Right.
it to their dispensary. And so
You cannot be a seller and distributor both.
right. Even though, again, some of these are tied in right together, they need that go-between. And so by declaring the state of emergency, I think they're looking at, you know, issuing more licenses to be able to have that go-between. But it involves
And who's getting those licenses to distribute?
Wouldn't that be the liquor?
Yep,
The liquor people?
the liquor
The
distributors.
liquor wholesalers.
Because
and
they
it would-
want a piece of the action.
They want a piece of it, and it would permit them to kind of cash in on the marijuana sales. So, bottom line, it has far exceeded the industry's expectations thus far, and we're only days in.
Days.
Days.
Just 10. It's the 11th, right?
Yeah. But days, get it? Like days and confused. I'm like, hey.
I gotcha.
I'm slow sometimes. But so they're working with the liquor wholesalers who have applied for distribution licenses.
I just love the idea that we are in a pot shortage state of emergency.
And
that is crazy.
And that our Republican governor has declared a state of emergency for it. I could think of a few other things that it could, but hey, whatever. If it works. I had read somewhere else, I think they generated like at least 3 million already.
Oh, nice.
Which I felt
in the
was
first
low.
weekend.
Yeah, which I felt was low. I thought it would be higher.
That's in
But,
2 days. That's in 2 days. That's over. That's
But there's
from Friday night to Sunday night.
right, but there's 47 distribution centers. So divide that 3 million by 47.
That's
It
still a
doesn't look as
shitload.
pretty.
It's all cash too. It's a cash business.
Well, they have overhead.
No. You get what I'm saying.
My wheels are turning on how am I going to get into the middle of this
Right,
business, right?
right.
In other words, you cannot go in and pay with a debit card or a check. You have
They have
to pay
ATM,
with
but
cash.
they have ATM machines.
Right, but I'm saying you have to pay with cash. So you got 47 people there. They got $3 million stashed in their back rooms.
Way to put it out there, Johnny Fever. Ocean's 14.
No.
right here.
It's common knowledge. That's common knowledge. All of the medical dispensaries, they,
Well, I tell you something. Think about all the revenue that makes for all different people. There's going to be money transport people who are making money off of this because they've got to take that $3 million, put it in their
Right.
truck, and take it to whatever safe house that they need to take it to.
I just want to know, will this money filter to our schools? Because while we're thriving
Yes.
in marijuana, our school district is like 50th in the...
It's the taxes
US
that
or-
the state of Nevada makes from pot sales.
which
that
is one
is
of the
what-
reasons why the governor has declared a state of emergency,
Right.
because we have a shortfall this year
So how long will this
in our
take?
budget.
So
How
you're
long
thinking,
will this take?
Realistically.
You're thinking for the one weekend, $3 million in one weekend.
Right.
Nevada tax is what? 8.225 normally, but I'm sure
I
on
think it's different
marijuana
for
it's going to be a
business.
lot higher.
I think it's like 17%.
Yeah,
Right.
it's higher.
So 17% of that $3 million is in taxes that is supposed to go to Clark County District schools. Or
All right,
city
well, let's
schools
make that
or
happen.
whatever.
Let's get it going.
I remember when they released Colorado's first year numbers. It was like $3 billion.
Yeah, it was insane. It
Yeah.
was insane. And that's Colorado. The thing is here is that people will specifically plan their trip here knowing. So it's going to increase our tourism. It's going to increase our, our fill rates on the hotels.
But
It'll
the
probably
first thing
increase
that they
the
have to
prices
do
to
is
fly here.
there's really no place that the tourists can smoke it.
True, because
They can't do it in the
has to be
casinos.
right, it has
They
to
can't
be
do it in the
a private home.
hotels. Can't do it in public. Can't do it on the street. Can't do it in their cars.
Well, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and that's what they got to do. They've got to figure out some lounge.
And
I,
I
I
believe
see a
I read
resurgence
somewhere-
of hookah dens.
Right, but
Yeah.
also I had read somewhere that hotels are going to start having like pot specific
Rooms.
rooms.
Like
where you
cigar
can
rooms.
Smoke, right.
Like
right.
they have cigar rooms.
So that's coming. I mean, more
Entrepreneurs, Vegas is a place to come if you have or like. Or
Hey, I'm
want
going to rent
anything
out my
do.
garage.
Right. This is the place for
Just
it.
going to get a whole wall full of munchies and
I'm gonna come just for the munchies.
just get
I'm
some
gonna be
frozen
like, can you all
pizzas
put your marijuana out? Can you? I'm just here for the munchies.
Hey, let's talk about what we're doing this Saturday.
What are you doing this Saturday?
This Saturday, we are broadcasting live from a Well-Rounded BBW's Ruby Slippers party.
Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
I like that. That's funny.
For those of you who don't know, Las Vegas has been the home of a BBW Bash for many, many years. And then a few years ago, Bree and the Well-Rounded BBW group took over that bash. And so theirs is the big bash that happens every year in July here in Las Vegas. And people come from around the entire world to meet and mingle and visit and see BBWs and BBW admirers right here in Las Vegas. They've taken over the Alexis Park Resort. I believe you can pay at the door.
Yes, you can pay at the door. You can purchase individual days, which they normally don't do. But she has made that an option this year. So definitely go on the website. Now, I've been at the Alexis Park for setup. We've been helping to kind of set up behind the scenes. And it is amazing. I really like it. I like that it's all there. The rooms may be spread out a bit, much like the Tuscany, which was the former place where they had it. But all of the conference rooms and the places where like the club nights are, registration, the open bar area, it's all right there. It's all right there. So it's nice and easy. It looks nice. The pools look gorgeous. We will be there. We will be broadcasting out of the
Zeus room.
The Zeus room.
Zeus room.
Which is, and of course I can't think of the title, but it's basically, it's where it's the lounge. It's the lounge where you come in and get your drinks. So that's
You mean we're going to have like total drink access sitting there?
Basically.
It's going to be a fun
in the
night.
room, yeah.
Uh-oh.
It'll be a good time. I will choose to not drink during the broadcast because the last time I did, I wandered away to go get a guest, and when I came back we were packed up, and I'm like, but I've been gone for 5 minutes, and Sierra was like, no, I think it's been like an hour.
We believe the party is for event attendees only because it's open bar. But we're going to check with Bree to see if locals who aren't at the event can come to the party and how much it would cost. I'm going to expect at least a $25, $30, $40
I would think around
entry
that,
fee since it is an open bar. So, but keep an eye on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll make sure to let you know on that subject whether you're going to be able to come or not. If you can't, just join us on a Ustream. We will be broadcasting via Ustream.
Yes.
And what's the date?
This Saturday.
What is the date?
I don't know. What is the date this Saturday?
Saturday the Saturday?
15th, I think. It's the 15th.
The 15th.
Sierra and I have plans immediately prior, and as soon as we leave, we have an hour to get to the venue before we start broadcasting. Toxie is going to take on the task of setting up all the equipment and maybe kind of putting wires where they're supposed to be, so as soon as Sierra shows up, she could just go plug.
I will guess.
Yeah.
I didn't do too bad last year.
You did very good,
I did.
yes.
We only needed like one little correction. But I believe I will have Kelly Guy to help, and he's been around the equipment enough to know.
Yes.
And I also will at that point start to try and, get people. So if you are going to be there and you want to come on air, I've had people already start asking.
That is our favorite thing to do, is interview the people who come to the event to find out where they're from,
Yes.
why they're there. But we'll be broadcasting all night. A lot of it will start recording and close recording, but it'll be live the whole time that we're there. So.
Well, and we'll try to Facebook Live some, but it gets a little harder. She specifically tried to put us as far from the noise as we could, like the far end wall, because we've had previous issues with the sound interfering.
And Facebook will not let us broadcast when there's somebody else's music.
Right,
so.
when they can hear the music. So we will give it a go, but that will be Saturday night. And that is going to be a ton of fun. We always have fun at the Bash.
Yes, we do.
People
we have
know
fun at
us.
all of our remotes. All of our
do.
remotes, no matter where they are always great. Directly after Well-Rounded BBW, which ends Sunday, Saturday is the last party night of the event. We'll start up pre-plan. There's a few days of a gap, and then on Tuesday the 18th. Plush BBW is going to host their pre-summer bash party because Xlence BBW is throwing something very similar to the Well-Rounded event, which is a summer bash for BBWs. So for those of you who have never been to a Plush party, we love Jacob and Katie and the Street Crew's fabulous events. I kind of think there are siblings, the Plush BBW party crew, because we came up together in Vegas, our radio show and their events, married very early. That doesn't sound right. We're not married, but
Hey, don't go like this.
What are you doing?
Came together. I would scissor Katie or Jacob, for that matter. But anyway, more than likely we'll also be broadcasting from that event. But if you're up for a Tuesday night party, 700 East Fremont Street, a Plush BBW pre-Summer Bash party. It's not a pool party. Their big party is the next Saturday, which is the July 22nd, which is the glow pool party. So there's lots of glowy things in the dark of night in the pool. So that's going to be very exciting.
And even though it is not a pool party for that pre-party,
for the Tuesday
you
party,
are encouraged to
wear your bikini tops, bikini bottoms, shorts, summer gear,
because you may get wet.
Yes, it's going to be hot.
One way or another.
It's one of my favorite venues for the Plush BBW clubs because it's right across the street from Container Park, and from the front balcony you can watch the praying mantis shoot its fire.
So are we going to go? Like, we should broadcast and then go down.
That's a good idea.
Right after the show.
That's a great idea.
I'll wear my bikini to the show, and then we'll leave and go right there.
You heard it here first. I love it. All right, so covered that.
Let's talk about the studios.
Okay. So because we had a break last week, we decided to go on a field trip. The Saturday before we were supposed to, before July 4th. July 1st, probably. I can't remember what day it was.
It was the first. It was the first.
We, of course, had learned about the studio's venue, which we were very excited to find out about because we loved the Power Exchange was when it was open. I'm a people watcher, and then when it comes to sex and people watching, that's even better.
As am I. I'm definitely. I think we've determined like we're both absolute voyeurs.
Totally voyeurs.
I will unashamedly, unabashedly, or whatever the word is. Both. I will watch. I'm like, I've been offered before to participate in things, and my response is always, no, but I'll come in and watch. I'll cheer you on from the side. I will do.
Right, and
whatever, I'll hang out.
One of the great things about the studios, because it's very much modeled after what the Power Exchange was, is they have doors on of their rooms, of course, or you can opt to do nothing but put a small white plastic chain across to allow people to watch what you're doing. And then, of course, there's lots of open venues where you can do your business and allow everyone to watch or even join in, as it were. So
first, the place I felt was amazing. Mm-hmm. I liked it. We've talked about this many times. I really like the Rooster. Mm-hmm. I like the Rooster because it's a fun, chill, relaxing kind of facility.
If you're a girl, it's a very inexpensive night out.
So this exceeded my expectations. I had never been to the Power Exchange. I had no idea what to expect. We walk in, the owner of the home greeted us. Have you been here before? She, laid out exactly how it works. She answered any questions. Some people had many.
I believe she hand out like condoms and things? Or?
Yeah, she had everything. And there were condoms throughout. Mm-hmm. Because at one point, I know I posted a few phrases that were said during that night. And many of them were said by me. I was, at one point when I was really drunk, I thought they had a tray of saltines out. And it turns out the saltines were condoms, which I was really excited for saltines. And for whatever reason, I would never, I get on Sierra for this, if she eats at a sex club, I would never, ever eat random food that's sitting out at a sex club, I have a nut nacho thing. I would never do it, but for some reason, after a lot of vodka, a plate of random nachos random saltines sounded amazing. So that was kind of disappointing. But there are condoms. There are condoms everywhere. You go in, and it really is their home. The owner and her son live there, her adult son. She
said, we close at 4 a.m.?
Yes.
We close at 4 a.m., and you have to leave because I want to go to sleep.
Yes. And so you go in, and the first area we went to, it was just an open seating area. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was like a back patio, a sunroom.
Sunroom, that's what I was thinking. Arizona room, sunroom.
Like a sunroom, mudroom, whatever you want to call it, where there were TV screens, where you...
Playing porn, of course.
Playing porn, you can watch porn. There was a pool table. There was a woman there playing and there were a lot of bigger girls there, by the way.
Yes.
So if you're into big girls, this is a great place. But there was this woman playing who, she had this cute little outfit on, but she had big boobs.
Completely exposed, so the dress wrapped in a way to where it crisscrossed in between her boobs.
Yeah. I had to tell her many times
how beautiful her boobs were.
Yeah, you have great boobs.
That and butt cleavage. She had great butt cleavage.
Yeah, she had good butt cleavage. We were there for a little while. We were first approached by the ring guy who gave
Toxie one of those coma-inducing flashing rings. I couldn't even look at it. It was
yeah. So I got a
set
ring.
off my epilepsy or something.
Yeah, that gentleman asked to worship my ass though a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So
you were proposed quite a bit before I even left.
Yeah.
I can imagine what happened after I left. So
yeah, it was quite the experience. I mean, everybody was friendly. Everybody was, they're just very open.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
For those of you who are Patreon sponsors, in our super secret Facebook group, there are photos from that night. Video of the epilepsy-inducing ring.
Yes.
There are compromising photos of Toxie and Sierra in the hump boat. Consider that when you're wondering whether you should sponsor us or not.
And let me tell, so upstairs had that. We walked down, they had some rooms that were closed off. You knew that was their room. They had a shower. You could pay extra to have sex in the showers. I think one of you said there was a sign for the shower.
I didn't see that.
That must have been Sierra. But while we're walking, there was a guy on a couch just jerking off. And we're like, oh, excuse us, as we walk by. And then as we walk by again, we're like, excuse us. He's like, it's all good. He just kept going like nothing.
It's all good.
Hey, high five. Not that hand.
There's an outdoor patio area where you can smoke or just visit.
Yes, so outdoor. Mm-hmm. You go downstairs. And downstairs is quite interesting. You went down there first to check it out. Mm-hmm. And did you go with Sierra first?
No.
Okay. So you went down to check it out. Then I went down after with Sierra. And again, I had never been to the Power Exchange. And I probably would consider myself a little bit greener than the others. Is that a safe word to say?
Safe word.
I'm a little greener than the others. So the first thing I did is they said these are their glory holes. I was so fucking excited. I had never seen an actual glory hole. I was so excited. I didn't want to use it. I mean, I have this. If I'm not going to stick, obviously with the exception of saltines, but if I'm not going to stick random food at a sex club in my mouth, I'm not putting random dick in my mouth either. But I wanted to watch it being used. I was so excited. There were several. It was great. And so Sierra was looking through, and then she pulls up in the curtain. She's like, oh, someone's in there, so we better go. So, anyway, yeah, it was, I really, the next time we go, I'm probably going to be the creepy girl just camping out there.
Downstairs is also where the glory holes were. There's also BDSM equipment down there.
There is. But first, before you even get there, there's a section with open beds. And when we were down there, they were being used, for sure. We, walked in, we're like, hey, how's it going? Sarah's like, shh, you're not supposed to talk to them. And I'm like, you're doing good.
And don't feed them, right?
Cheerleader.
And she's like,
cheerleaders.
Stop talking to them. I'm like, all right, guys, we're going. Is that okay? Is that okay? We're going to go. So I'll be a little better next time. but and there's couches, you could totally sit and watch. And then, then that's when you go into the room and I'm going, what does this do? What does this do? And as soon as Sierra and I went in the room, guys come to the door.
Yep.
They were waiting for that moment when we went in there, and they were mighty disappointed. I'm at this point, I'm so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. And I'm like, they have this in my gynecologist's office. What is it doing here? What is it for? And Sarah's like, yeah. So now I know what it's for. And now I want one.
So now you know a little bit more about your gynecologist, right?
Right. Right. Like, I always thought it was weird. It was in my gynecologist's house, and that's where I go for appointments. But now I know it's perfectly normal.
So Sierra, as you noticed, Sierra's not here tonight. She had a bad day at work, so she'll be with us next week. But she did want to say that she thoroughly enjoyed the studios, and she plans on going back very, very soon. The way that it works...
is that where she is tonight?
No. Well, who knows?
Who knows?
The way that it works is you bring a bottle of your own alcohol, and from them you purchase mixers. So it's relatively inexpensive.
It is.
Drink-wise, for you, you guys brought a bottle of vodka and drank half... and it wasn't just like a little, Smirnoff bottle. It was like one of those gallon bottles of vodka, and these two ladies polished off half of it that night.
It was not pretty. The problem is you pour your own. So you buy the mixer, and he gives you the cup and the ice, and gives you the mixer and gives you your bottle, and you pour your own. And I shouldn't
You're
be
heavy
allowed
pouring.
to pour my own.
You're a heavy pourer.
Yeah, so Sierra kept saying every time she saw me about to pour my own, she's like, let me do it. Because at one point I came back and I'm like, I think it's all vodka. And I think you were like, go back and ask for more of a mixer. And I'm like, no, it's still good. Tastes delicious. Like,
Saturday nights, late nights are very rough for me because I have class the next day. So I left early. I want to give a huge shout out for Steven, who went with us for doing all the driving. He drove me home or back to my car early in the evening, and then was your designated driver.
He was great. He was amazing. This guy, he kept track of our purses. At one point, I said to him, he doesn't talk much. He's very quiet. I'm like, can you do me a favor? He said he doesn't like alcohol. I said, can you make sure I don't suck any strangers' dicks? Can that be your job tonight?
Take a designated driver with you if you go to the studios. Mm-hmm. We'll post when we go again, which will probably be soon. And if you would like to join us, just message us on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter.
There's another room down there. It has a stripper pole. Not meant for big girls.
Is it one of those that just stop at the top? It doesn't actually hook into the ceiling? No, it's
hooked, but I held on and I'm like, I'll just do a swing. But then I'm like, maybe I'll pass. And there was a gentleman sitting there on the couch. He's like, no, give it a try. And I'm like, no. I mean, have you ever seen that video? So many people sent it to me because I look like the girl anyway. And this big girl, puts up this pole. You see the photo of the homemade, the install yourself. And she goes to swing on the pole, and the pole falls and crashes. And that's me. It's basically, it wasn't me in the video, but it looked similar. That's what I envisioned happened. But that room also had, I'm like, is this a chiropractic table, I think? It had another medical table. It had a sissy training cage. That was quite the room. And then outside is the hump boat, and it's a boat with a mattress on it. And we went and asked ahead of time if we could do a mini photo shoot on the hump boat. And we did. So that was it. So those
that was
are
pretty
the photos. Funny. Yeah. So that you will find in our super secret Facebook group. Those that came out, because most of them were blurry. I spent the night at Sierra's, and the next morning we're sitting there. We're so hungover. And she's like, she looks at her phone, she goes, oh my God, I texted people. And she's looking for photos, and I go, oh my God, what are these photos? And when did this happen? And I took a video outside of the place that I didn't remember, which I did show on my Toxie page. But I didn't remember until the next morning. So everything was coming back, and I'm like, did I ask for a job there? And Sierra's like, yes, 27 times. And they said they didn't have anything, and you said you would do anything there but clean. So,
just so you know, if you do plan on visiting the studios, it is LGBTQ friendly. Yes. One of my favorite things to see was the trans people that were there, dressed to the nines. I think that's the way you can tell the difference between. They were all dressed beautifully.
Right.
Their makeup was on point. Their hair was on point. It was awesome. And I love seeing that. So, it's a great place to go experiment with your sexuality, as it were.
It was a lot of fun. It's a great place to just go hang out. It was very comfortable, really cool. I may have asked if we could broadcast from there.
Nice.
I may have asked many things.
They actually do have their own radio show
do.
that broadcasts from there Saturday right before they open.
Yes, and they were there right before we came.
Right.
So
maybe we'll get them on the show. Maybe I'll contact them and see if they want to come on
Yeah.
our show as a guest.
That might have been what I asked as well.
Okay.
As I was asking for a job, I believe I did also ask.
If you know of a local venue here in Vegas that we need to go visit, let us know. We love taking field trips and then reporting on them, our experiences.
It was quite the field trip.
Yeah.
I do remember at one point, just to share, when we were talking about the hump boat, and I asked you about going on the hump boat, and I don't remember how it all came about because, again, vodka, but you said you wouldn't go with me, and I said, is it because you think I'm not a good humper? And then I proceeded to tell everybody there,
Loudly.
that I was an excellent humper, just so everyone knows. And I remember telling excuse me, just so you know, I'm an excellent humper. So
I believe you were being humped in the pictures that I found, though.
Yes, by Sierra. So apparently I did not get to show my humping ability, but Sierra, I think I fell on the mattress as I stumbled out back, and that was it. That's where I ended up. And then the next thing I know, I was home. But I do remember my shoes, and I'm going, why are my shoes so dirty? And she's like, it's because it was dirty all the way to the hump boat. You complained about it. I don't I have a thing with dirty feet, so yeah.
But it was your shoes, not your feet that was
It was
dirty.
my shoes,
Yeah.
but I still don't like having
It's
dirt
because
in my shoes.
the hump boat is in the actual yard, and you have to walk through the yard to get there, so.
But we took photos. Her photos were blurry. Someone obviously, I gave my my phone to someone, so luckily I got it back because I don't know who I gave it to.
As I said, take a designated driver and designated person to make sure you don't suck some stranger's cock. So.
It's that easy.
What else do you want to talk about? Let's talk about...
I have some breaking political news.
Yes.
As of just a few hours ago, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has officially filled out the paperwork to run for president.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Well then.
He announced it a few weeks ago on Saturday Night Live. Said he was going to do it and was going to have Tom Hanks as his running mate.
That was a great show.
We've yet to see if Tom Hanks, but this just happened a couple hours ago.
Wow.
So.
I have to confess something.
Uh-oh.
You don't know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is?
The Rock?
What? Of course I know who he is.
Okay, just checking.
I used to be a huge wrestling fan. I'm a huge Dwayne Johnson fan. I would totally vote for him. I realize he has 0 qualifications, but I mean...
Has that stopped anyone else before?
It hasn't, and...
Yeah, but at least he has a certain
amount
amount of intelligence.
Previously, I led with my convictions as to where I would how I would choose to vote.
I hope to God Ted Nugent runs against him. If we're gonna have celebrities running for president, let's just get them all up there.
Maybe it's a thing now. Damn you, Ronald Reagan! You started this. Way to go, dude.
Ronald Reagan was before a lot of people's time.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know
he
he was
was
an
an
actor. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You did not know that Ronald Reagan was an actor?
I know I did.
Oh.
He was before a lot of people's time.
Oh, yeah,
though.
yeah. I heard that part.
Yeah. So a lot of people didn't know until he started running
Gotcha.
that he had been a governor and
Bedtime for Bonzo.
actor before. So let's talk about revenge porn.
Revenge porn, yes. So I don't know if anybody caught the whole Black China Rob Kardashian deal. I saw it a little as it was going down before he got pulled off of Instagram, but bottom line, Rob Kardashian, one of the Kardashian clan, he was engaged to Black China, and they have a child together. They have had a lot of issues, a lot of fighting, and so she personally, privately sent him a video of her kissing somebody. And so in return, he posted a lot of her personal photos that were sent to him on social media.
When they were doing well together.
Right. Although he did say some were just before this whole incident, but she said no. So she did go to court, and she was granted a temporary restraining order against him, which bars him from posting pictures about her on social media, as well as sharing photos of their daughter, or her eldest child's.
He was blocked on Instagram. Instagram took his account
They pulled
down.
him off. So there are some laws in place,
But then he went to Twitter.
Yes, and continued. So there are some laws in place, basically, that say you can't post somebody's private photos for revenge. It's called revenge porn. It's as if a husband and wife decided to get a divorce, and one of them started posting their private videos, on social media. It's against the law. So he could be in a lot of trouble for it.
Do you know if that's federal law or is that governed state by state?
I want to say state by state, but please don't quote me. I want to say state by state, though, because I thought it had a list of where revenge porn is an actual law. So that leads me to believe it's state by state.
This is what I know, that when you decide to post your previous significant other's photos or videos of the two of you, it shows your ass. Even though it literally shows their ass, it shows how much of an ass you are.
Yeah.
Because that's just
low.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty scummy.
Yeah. I mean, he posted a video of her when he paid for her to have plastic surgery, and he posted the video of her going in. That whole thing is messy. That whole thing playing out in such a public light, it's so messy. And what makes it even worse is that one day, their child will find it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons that, at one point my personal situation got a little messy online, not on my accord. And for as much as I wanted to hop on and kind of defend myself on social media, I just, I didn't, and I just kind of backed out, and I'm like, it shows your character more than it shows mine.
There's a story we posted on our Facebook page about a girl who was on an airplane who was being fat shamed by one of the passengers, one of the other passengers.
That's right.
And she got into his face and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And he is texting a friend of his about how stupid this girl is, or how fat she is, or looks like she ate someone.
A Mexican. Here's what happened. I actually watched it unfold because she's very well connected with people we're connected to. He was texting. It looks like she... the person said to him, I hope she didn't eat Mexican. And he said, it looks like she ate a Mexican. He said, if my plane is grounded at DFW, you'll know why. And she took screenshots and then confronted him after the flight.
She took photos of his texts. So while she may be hailed as a hero, which I think you confront people who are awful like that. I have no issues with that. And give them a piece of your mind, or talk to them, or reason with them, or whatever. I guess by the end of their exchange, he was cool with it. They were cool.
He offered to buy her dinner.
Right. But then she posted those photos of his private texts onto social media.
Yeah, here's the problem I have with all of this. I realize from our standpoint, because we're very body positive, we're heavily involved in the BBW community, we're very fat positive. when you follow it, I almost feel like we're supposed to be like, yes, go. I believe her name's Natalie. Like, go, yeah, good job for confronting him. But actually, I'm probably kind of on board with you. I felt that, number one, he didn't say any of this to her directly. Like, he wasn't physically saying to her, hey, you're fat. Hey, you're encroaching in my area. Any of this. He was sending a private message to somebody. And at one point it did look like, from her photo, that he was trying to take a photo, which we've talked about that before. I fucking hate when people do that. And I'm a believer of, if you want to do that, let me pose for you. Like, let me give you my good side.
Yeah.
Make sure you get my ass. Let me know you're going to do it, and I'll give you a good smile and thumbs up.
Yeah,
That's why I use a telephoto lens there.
Right, exactly. Like, and when I see that lens through my bedroom window,
Yeah.
I know to pose.
Yeah.
Like, I know, let me give Johnny Fever a good one.
Yeah, there you go.
But she was taking photos of him as well. So I just kind of feel like two wrongs didn't make a right.
Nope.
Like, it didn't, him taking a photo of her and her taking photos of him doing it first didn't justify her doing it. I don't know. Like, it's all over now. I mean, she has been on, like, the Today Show. There's articles about her everywhere. It sucks.
Pro and con, so.
Pro and con. She handled it very well. I mean, she did, the way she confronted him, she did handle it, very well. And at one point he said, he tried to justify it by saying, first he was drinking. I just touched your boob, I'm sorry.
You can touch my boob all you want.
And then he said, well, out of fairness, should you be in the exit aisle? And she said, you don't know me. You don't know what my body's capable of. I work out 5 times a week. Are you a doctor? And he said, that's none of your business. And she said, well, my body and what my body can do is none of your business. And she's like, yes, I can help people.
She made some great points in her tete-a-tete with this guy.
Right.
I just had a big problem with her taking photos of his
agree.
private texts.
I agree.
What was our time? I know you held up a sign 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes.
You held up a sign.
2
I paid no
minutes.
attention
I know.
whatsoever.
You held up a sign. We kept going. I thought it was free tacos. I was excited for a moment.
That's all right. The camera cut off 10 minutes ago.
It's okay.
The biggest story
There
this
is no
week,
light, by the way.
of course, is Donald Trump Jr.'s release. Donald Trump Jr.'s release of the emails that show that the Trump camp were supposed to get information to take down Hillary Clinton from the Russian government.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys are following the news. I know I have a lot of friends who are really, they hate following the news because it's the same shit over and over. And of course, they don't like Trump anyway. But I think you have to be informed, right? So for those of you who don't know, they have been asked, the Trump camp, all of the Trump administration has been asked over and over and over and over again, have there been any meetings between anyone in the Trump campaign and Russian authorities? Well, it was always no. It was always no. And then when they found proof, they said, oh, yeah, well, we were only going to talk about this. Oh, yeah, we only talked about this. Right.
It was Russian-American adoption. Yeah.
And then this last week, Donald Trump Jr. himself, released the emails because the New York Times were going to publish the story. So I believe he released them on Twitter.
Yeah.
The emails himself, and it shows that he was approached and said, hey, you need to meet with this Russian government lawyer, and that's what it said in the email, who has some information for you damning Hillary Clinton. And Donald Trump Jr. replied, hey, if this is exactly what you say it is, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then more emails were exchanged. Paul Manafort was added to it, along with his brother-in-law, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr.'s brother-in-law. And they all met with this Russian government, and I'm going to use the word quotes on government because she has been interviewed since. And they met her at Trump Tower, and nobody knows exactly for sure what happened in that meeting. But it was touted as being a meeting where they had information of from the Russian government who was trying to help Donald Trump get elected. Okay? Which was stated in the emails. Yes. Yeah. Which was stated in the emails. Since then, that Russian government lawyer has been interviewed, and she said she was proud to get the title of government, but she's never been a government lawyer. 2, the main reason she wanted to meet with them was because of adoptions. And then 6 or 7 minutes in, Donald Trump Jr. left. Paul Manafort was on his phone the whole time, not paying attention, and there was really nothing to the meeting. So that is what the lawyer said.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you expect her to say?
Of course. But now that calls into question how valid is anything again, how valid is anything the Trump administration says is true.
And these meetings all took place before the release by the FBI of the information that the election was hacked by the Russians.
Right.
So every time that Donald Trump Jr. got up and said, you know, it's a disgusting bunch of crap, it's a witch hunt, it's blah, 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 he knew better.
He said there were 3 phrases that I heard. One was phony.
Yeah.
One was lying. And I can't remember the other one. But
disgusting.
Disgusting. That's what it was. And just, the hump boat. Nice. Vendetta, we're going to post it on our Facebook page for you. Anyway, so you guys should know what's going on. Even if you don't really care, you still should know what's going on.
You better fucking care.
Well, there are a lot of people who just want to be in their own lives.
But that's just it. Everything that's happening right now affects their lives.
But now with the news, if The Rock is going to run for president, maybe we can get more people involved with what's going on in the world. I think he should run.
I think he should run as vice president.
I'm sorry?
I think he should run as vice president.
To whom?
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders is going to be 84?
Yeah, he's not going to run again.
Yeah.
You know, I love old people, but it's kind of old.
Don't look at me. I'm not running. Fuck that.
I don't think you can.
Yes, I can.
Can you?
Legally, he could.
Can you?
Yeah.
I mean, can you?
Yes.
Do you know how much porn? I got blocked because you watch too much porn in here. Can you?
But it's not my computers.
Oh, that's true.
Our current president has literally admitted that he grabs women by the pussy.
It's locker room talk.
I see no problem with Johnny Fever and his 60s.
And I've only done that
porn.
when I was invited.
Yeah.
So
Johnny Fever and his 60s porn can run for president for. I'd work for him. I'd hand out leaflets.
What would be the equivalent of not inhaling?
Inhaling
in that yeah.
Do we even care about that anymore?
No.
Is the whole not inhale even a thing?
No.
I mean, is it? I feel like it couldn't be. Our president uses Twitter to...
And not very well. I mean,
he's a modern American president.
He has such a limited vocabulary. I mean, that every time I read anything or listen to any of his speeches, and I'm reminded of a friend of mine who was running for 7th grade class president.
There's an awesome article.
He's a fucking idiot.
There's an awesome article out there about, I believe it was an Australian reporter.
Oh, that was awesome. That guy
wrote it, and it was how we are viewed in other countries, and how our president was viewed at the G20 summit. And so it was not pretty, but it turns out, one place I saw this posted, people in other countries were saying, this is very accurate. Yeah. Like, this is how we view you guys.
I have a niece and nephew in the UK, and, they tell me at least twice a week, we have an extra bedroom if you need it.
Yeah. Do they have cute accents?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love those accents.
Do we care?
That's
About
how
their
we're viewed?
accents?
About how other countries view us?
Fucking A,
it's very
Skippy, we do.
important. Yeah, it's very important. It's something that you have to take into consideration. Is this reparable? Is this something that can be fixed?
We try to teach self-esteem to people by telling them, don't give a shit about what other people think about
right,
you.
but this is a much
that's a
larger
whole different
scale.
story. Okay,
Yeah.
Is it, though?
if you live in an apartment building, you want to be a good neighbor, right? You don't want to be the asshole in the building, because you may need some help someday. So
Well,
you
Right.
at least need to be.
You would think you would want to
civil.
be that, but we know plenty of people who are asshole neighbors.
Yes.
Who don't give a shit.
Yes.
Right, but we're talking such a different scale. Like, it's almost not comparable. Like, there are things that we need from other countries that.
If somebody were to break into
It's
your apartment
life or
and all of your
death.
neighbors went, "Pff, fuck that guy," you want to know
Right.
that if you need some help somewhere.
Right. You want to know that you at least have a
And,
neighbor
and I'm
going to
turn the
will
cameras
keep an eye
off,
on
so
your
we should end this
apartment.
show.
I don't that.
Hi, recommend getting your heart trampled on to anyone.
America should not be.
Yeah. Hi, recommend walking around naked in your living room. Yeah. Swallow it down. Check it. It feels so good. Spinning your stomach. Wait until the dust settles. You live, you learn, you love.
Okay.
We're done.
We're
Yeah,
done.
we're
Wrap it
done.
up.
Yeah.
All right.
Done.
We've been playing music for the last 3 minutes.
Oh. Okay. So is that going to show up on the track?
Yeah, it might.
Oh, okay.
For the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's off now.
Hey, we're Sin City Banner. We're done for the night. This Saturday, we're going to be broadcasting live on our Ustream channel. That's at SinCityBounty.com. You can just scroll down on the first page there, and you get the live feed. If allowable, we'll post to see if locals can come to the party. Then you can come sit with us live and be interviewed and go in and enjoy the open bar and party and drink and do all that good stuff. And then come visit us and
Help me carry equipment.
yeah. So we'll be back next week on Tuesday. We'll be recovered by then, so we'll do a show next Tuesday. So hopefully Sierra will be with us in studio, and I think that's it, right?
And we'll go from the show and maybe go to
Yes.
Jacob's.
Next Tuesday, we are going to go from the show over to 700 Fremont Street, across from Container Park, and Toxie will be in her bikini top. We will see you next Tuesday, if you're brave enough.
Later, bitches!